no. Oh, you removed Anne out of yourself.
I removed myself.
I was like, where are you going?
Hi, guys.
But I don't know if you guys saw, but we have a new intro. Set the intro. I'll be working on audio for that, but we had a fun little intro now. And we're just going to talk about tips and tricks for makeup for Halloween this year because people are always asking us about tips and tricks for makeup. To be honest, well, at least me, it happens a lot. And I'm not wearing a costume today because actually, an hour after this stream, I have to go body paint someone. So, yeah. So I'm not in costume because I won't have enough time to change and then go body paint them and do everything. So
yeah, I'm not in costume because my house is always in constant construction and I'm just over it. So that's why I'm on my phone because my laptop is not working and my desktop is in pieces. So I apologize, guys. I will be in costume at some point.
I also had to pack up my bed because normally it's behind me, that I need space today because I'm going through my costume closet on top of it before painting to clean out and see if anybody wants to buy stuff for cheap. So that's another good benefit. But welcome. This is episode 176. We are getting closer and closer to the 200 main episodes. As you can see, I haven't shaved in a little while. I've got little hairs coming back, but it's okay. Hi, Chibi. So today we're talking about makeup tips and tricks. If you have any questions about what makeup tips you want us to talk about, please let us know. We'll start with really, really simple and then work our way up to more advanced. Some of the more advanced things you're not going to be able to finish in time for Halloween, so you'll have to purchase items and then apply them. But that is still you couldn't make it yourself, but you could buy something basically. Also be aware that if you are planning on buying custom prosthetics or anything like that, unless it's pre-made and made ready to ship, you are most likely not going to have a maker's probably not going to have time to make any kind of custom thing for you at this point because we're almost halfway there. So just be mindful of that.
This month has been going so slow. Is it just me?
It's got to be you because it is flying for me.
I'm just like, how many more weeks? We still have this weekend and then next weekend and then the weekend after that. And then the weekend after that is Ulu. So it's still 1, 2, 3 weekends away, which I'm just like.
No, it's only 2 weekends away.
Well,
the third weekend is Ulu. It starts on Friday.
Yeah, because next weekend is the 19th, right? The weekend after that,
and then the 26th, and then the third weekend is Ulu.
Yeah.
So yeah. Speaking of, if you're unfamiliar, Crosstalk Live will be a group at UbuCon this year, so we'll be present there. And then additionally, I'm going to be volunteering at the Velmatique Public Library for their Halloween Comic Fest. Free comics, Halloween costumes, check it out. I think it's from 6 to 8 p.m. or 6 to 10 p.m. I think it's 8 p.m.
No, it's earlier.
No, I thought it was later.
The Velmatique one?
Yeah.
It's during the day. I'm 98, 97% sure.
2024. Velmatique. Maybe it is in the day, and I'm just confused.
Says, yeah, because I've got the night market that night that I'm helping out with, so it better be during the day because I can't.
So the Halloween Comic Fest at Velmatique Public Library is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on October 26th.
Oh shoot! Mm-hmm. I don't think I'll be able to go then.
Yeah, it's 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. No, that's usually free comic book day because it's so hot. They do it earlier in the day. But yeah, so there's a Halloween Comic Fest that's free at Velmatique and then other stuff. But yeah, Chibi says that it's flying for Pinty as well. Yeah, it's just going crazy. But we're just going to go ahead and start with some simple things. We'll start a little bit. I'm going to start with the simplest of the simple, and I'm going to open up a very old tutorial that I have on using cream-based body paint. This is the first time that I ever really painted myself, so you'll be able to tell that it's older, not as perfect, but the makeup's still pretty good. So I'm just gonna open it and speak over it. I'm not gonna share the what the heck? Why are you fighting me?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bite you.
Oh, why are you bothering me? So this is, I'm gonna make sure it's
Ooh.
muted. Yeah. So I was doing, I don't know how long this one is. It's only 10 minutes, so it's not too long. We can always skip ahead too. But I did contacts for this. These are prescription contacts from Pinky Paradise. They have my curvature and my prescription accurate and complete. Always use something that's FDA approved. They are FDA approved because your eyes are something you don't want to mess with. Then I moisturized. This was at a point where this is before I had enough money to afford like better primers or things. And so moisturizer works, especially with cream-based paint, to make it easier to remove afterwards. So if you can't afford expensive primers or sealants, all those things, just a simple, cheap, travel dollar store Pond's moisturizer or any other moisturizer that works better for you is also an option. And then I took I think that's the Mehron Clown White, and this was the only, because it's a cream hybrid, and that's the only paint that I can use at that time that I didn't react to. Now I've got Narrative Cosmetics, and so far I've been very lucky with Narrative Cosmetics and not having reactions to it. But as you can see, the first time, this is the second time that I like tested the makeup. The first time I streaked it like a paintbrush, and then I realized that that's not a good way to apply cream makeup. Instead, you kind of have to stipple, like do a patting motion so that it gets into your pores. Because when you streak it, it looks like someone's dragged their nails down your face, and it's not very pretty unless you want that look, right? Unless you want like a pinhead look and you want all those lines and stuff. You want to put, yeah, that works. But this is better to dab or stipple, as
Dab,
the
dab, dab.
artistic way to put it. Also, be very careful around your eyes. I keep my eyes closed until I'm certain, and then I don't dab as much into it. I go in there with like powder and other things, and then I blend with my fingers. I cut that part out because I accidentally dropped my camera on this, but I blended with my fingers in that area in just a tapping motion because sometimes the brush is just too wide and you don't want it to get into your tear ducts. So you just want to tap gently with your fingers to avoid any areas that could potentially harm yourself. Trust me, this hurts when it gets in your eyes. Even though it's cream, it's easy to flush out, but it is uncomfortable. So take your time, be slow. If you're going to do makeup, start it 2 hours before because there are chances you might goof up. I goofed up. So, but this was just 2 layers and I didn't want to go too much. This is before I did some blending with powder and eyeshadow. This is also before I learned that maybe I should do my eyeshadow first because there were a few times when I was doing this makeup where I had to back up and like clean an area and then add the makeup back because dark eyeshadows like to this is, as you can see, I'm using brushes that are pretty inexpensive and cheap. Works just fine. I think I got all my stuff from like a dollar store or like a Five and Below or something like that. Like it's really inexpensive. Before my day job gave me the privilege to have a little bit more expensive items. Um, but you get a lot of fallout with cheaper brushes because it doesn't hold the product as well. So just be mindful of that. That if you are going to go with more inexpensive brushes, you may want to have like a lot of makeup powder in areas that you don't want to follow, so you can brush it off easier later. I mean, do you have any other recommendations, Jinx?
Sometimes so if you have like, always keep with yourself like a clean brush to like dust things away. That always helps. If you have like, like eyeshadow fallout or whatever, sometimes you can put like pieces of tissue paper underneath your eyes to put, that will catch like any fallout. When I do like beauty makeup, which we'll talk about later, I do something called baking, which also helps when you're using a lot of heavy eyeshadow, because then anything that drops onto your upper cheek, you brush away anyway with the powder that you're caking on there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely keep some clean tools for like touch up, stuff like that. Also smaller tools sometimes helps, like these little, like, whoops, I just took it apart.
Yeah, like the little tiny tools, like these
Yeah.
small itty bitty ones. Also, if you like taking less product on a brush, that may not be as good. Like just getting a little bit of product and building up slower over time. Yeah, it takes more time, but it guarantees you have a lot less fallout too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, less is more, and then more and more, more.
And then like this, I was trying to get a more natural, because the problem with when you're using just black, whites, and grays, like stark colors, is you can become cartoonish. So you need to just build up, make sure that there's levels of light and dark, fill in areas where shadow naturally falls and where light naturally falls, and just kind of keep building on it slowly but surely. Um, Trying really hard not to give yourself that 2D look, unless of course that's what you're going for. So yeah, and I have to darken my eyebrows because that's one problem. So like I have darker eyebrows, but they're very, very fine and they take makeup so easily. So I put even just foundation and like half my eyebrows disappear. Just the normal foundation and my eyebrows vanish. So
Yeah.
be mindful of how your body reacts to things too, because I always have to draw my eyebrows back in since any makeup basically makes it disappear.
I mean, I do too. I mean, I have fairly like, well, I keep them, like groomed, but I have fairly bushy eyebrows as well. And it catches a lot of, a lot of powder. So then I sometimes have to go back over, remove it, cover it in, usually I cover them in a little bit of, what is it called? Concealer. Put a little bit of concealer on my eyebrows. I don't do the whole, I mean, if you do the whole like, drag queen thing where you remove them with glue, you have to do that before anything. So
Yep.
when I don't need to do completely remove my eyebrows, I'll just cover them in a little bit of concealer and then dab the colored eyeshadow on top of it. Or if I just need to recolor in black, then I just use either black eyeshadow or black pencil.
Yeah, and then the makeup on this too is makeup that you will find at any Halloween store. Like I purposely did this with makeup that I found at like party or Halloween stores that were available year round that are pretty inexpensive. I think in total I maybe spent $20, $25 for the brushes, the makeup, and the powder and everything. So you can go cheap. You just have to take a bit more time with the makeup and blending, and you have to be a bit more patient. Whereas the more expensive stuff is usually easier and faster to apply because that's what it's made for.
Now, I think that if you were to go cheap with some of your makeup, there's some things that you really should go more high end on. For example, like makeup primers. Primers are really, really important because what they do is they fill in your pores. They kind of give your face like a smooth base, kind of like prepping your canvas. So it's kind of like what do you call it? Like what is that stuff they call it? I don't know. Anyway, so this is I've tried several different primers. And this is my favorite one. It is.
Oh, I'm trying to move you over. Why is it not letting me move you over?
I'm gone.
No!
I disappeared. Okay. You don't have to move me over. It's fine.
Okay.
So this one is more expensive. It is, I think, like 30 or 40 bucks for, what size is this? 22 milliliters. So not even an ounce, like a 0.75 ounce.
Although I bought the mini version of that for $10. And I didn't even like, I only needed like 2 or 3 little dollops and it went all over my face. A little bit of that goes a long way.
If you don't use makeup often, then you can get away with the small version and just keep it to a minimum. Like usually put it heavier in places where your pores show, like on your cheeks and nose, and then lighter on areas where, you don't really have heavy pores. But this is going to help your makeup sit really well. And you're going to use less product as well because your pores are already going to be filled with primer. So if you do need to go a little cheap on your makeup, try and spend a little bit more money on some of the important stuff like primers. And maybe like a good moisturizer because you're going to want to moisturize first and then prime. And then probably something like a really good, where's my other, well, this is a cheapy one, which still works, but this is a sealing spray. So sealing sprays are good. There are some that are better than others. Sometimes I even use, I had for a while, the Ben Nye. What's the name of the Ben Nye one?
I wouldn't use anything with Ben Nye until they get their formula straight because they were caught putting lead in stuff. So
there's that.
Maybe avoid them for a bit. But Mayron has a matte sealant. It's called a matte sealant that's really good. And then also Sunset Makeup has a really good sealer too now. And that's made for cosplay, like specifically for long wear.
Yeah. So those two products I think are important to spend a little money on if you can. Even if you have like cheaper makeup, it should help it smudge less. And of course, always seal all your makeup with powder as well. Those don't usually cost a lot of money. You can usually get pretty good powders. I really love this, and it has the price tag on it. So this NYX high def finishing powder. I'm trying to take off the price tag so I can actually just show you the label. But I love this stuff too. So usually I'll put this on and then the finishing spray. Let's see. So Where's my camera? Da, 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 da. So this I love. This is the little travel size. It was only about $4. So again, like this one, you won't use a lot of it. It's just a clear powder.
Translucent? Is it like a translucent powder?
Yeah, a translucent powder that you'll put all over your face to seal in those powders, and then finally you'll put your spray over it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that stuff works awesome. So, do you want to show the primer again and the sealing? So since I've got you on the big screen.
So this is the brand Benefit Professional. You can find it online. I buy mine at Ulta because I get like points. Again, this is the 0.75 milliliter, or sorry, fluid ounce, but they do come in smaller travel sizes. This is just an example. This is a liquid concealer in a travel size, but I think that's about the size that the travel size one is. And again, if you're only really using makeup for cosplay, this should take you a long way.
Yeah.
I don't wear makeup every day, but I do wear more often than I just wear cosplay stuff. So that's why I got the bigger one. Let's see. Yeah. And then, yeah, so any tinier versions. So a little tip for people who are not very well versed in makeup, like beauty makeup, because we use some beauty makeup in in special effects makeup. You can get, and I'm not paid by Ipsy or anything, but you can start with an Ipsy subscription. So if you go to Ipsy.com, they have these tiny little travel size or sample size makeups that they'll send you like 5 every month. And they send you a little zip bag too. And it's only I think it's like $15 a month. So and you're not locked into any kind of subscriptions.
No.
So you can always try that, find things that work. And then if they don't, maybe pass them on to friends. That's what I do. Or you can the little sample ones you can't really resell, but I do resell like the larger ones. But it's a great way to find kind of new products that work without having to pay a bunch of money. So in there, you'll find some really nice ones. I started with the Ipsy one, and I would use my travel-sized versions for when I traveled, like when I went to out of state or out of town cons. I love to leave those ones in my makeup bags. Anything else that's more important, I would take, my full-sized ones. So take a look at that. Again, I am not paid by Ipsy. Maybe they want to.
This is one of my favorites. It's the No Problem.
No problem.
And that's if you have a lot of red in your face, which after, I don't know what it is about con days, but I get flushed. And so that's good for that. Also, it's really useful since my head's bald and the top of my head is a different, because your scalp rarely sees the sun, since the top of my head is a different color than my regular skin, just kind of, this helps even out everything.
What's the brand of that one?
This is the tiny version of what you, look at how little it is. Put yours next to your face so you can see. Mine's so itty bitty.
Yeah, it's good.
There's so much in here. Also, an inexpensive version. It's similar to the Professional. The Professional's the best, but the Baby Skin by Maybelline gets close. It gets pretty close. But yeah, this one, the No Problem, they have both a green and a purple base, depending on whether you're. Why do you have a thumb down sign on your thing?
Why do I have a what?
Did you see that? A little thumb appeared on your thing. Your phone.
How weird. I didn't touch anything. You saw my hands.
That's funny, yeah. Your little, I think what it is I know that they started introducing emoji things, so I wonder if we do thumbs up and stuff, if something's gonna pop up.
Oh,
so
maybe
better check the settings on those, yeah. But yeah, the No Problem has both a green and a purple depending on your skin tone. So your undertone.
And what's the brand of that No Problem? No.
Touch and Soul.
No problem.
Problem.
More problem.
We can't say it. We're terrible. This is a curse.
So I have tried a bunch of different, like I said, primers. I even have another one here. This one's okay. This one's called T's Suit of Armor Battle Prep Face Primer. So this one's okay. I wasn't too crazy about it. The texture of it is just too creamy for a primer. So when we talk, so I guess we can kind of move into a little bit into beauty makeup a little bit, only because you follow some of the similar steps as you would for like Halloween makeup. Not all body paints though, but your first step that you're going to want to do is moisturize your face. So always find a moisturizer that matches your skin type. You know, if you didn't know, people have different types of skin types. We have either like dry, oily combination. Most commonly, people are oily around the T-zone, which is like the forehead and then the nose and chin. So take some time to figure out what moisturizers work for you. So you're going to moisturize and let that sit in a little bit. Never like layer on your makeups right away. You need time to let your skin soak them in and adjust. So do your moisturizer and then go do something else. I don't know, go prep your cosplay, go, you know, do your hair, prep your hair or something. Let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, I need to change the name on that photo. Secondly, you're going to do your primer. Now, primer definitely needs time to set in. So put the primer on and then let this sit in for at least 10 minutes. That way that, again, it needs to be soaked into your skin and dry and make that kind of nice, flat layer over your face. So that's one thing that people forget often is they'll put the primer on and they'll immediately put their makeup on, and that's not going to work. And here's something else that you can do before all of that. And this is completely optional. I don't recommend for people that are uncomfortable or do not know how to do any of this stuff. But I tend to have more of like face fuzz, and everybody has face fuzz. Do not be embarrassed about your face fuzz. It is a natural part of life. But because I have darker hair on my face, I tend to like to either do one of two things, which now I do one of the things. But I used to do a full face threading. So if you don't know what threading is, it's when people, the artist takes 2 pieces of thread and they kind of like run it over your face to remove the hair. Now it's very fast and very accurate, but doing your whole face can hurt. But it is cheaper than the other option I'm going to tell you about. The other option is called a dermaplane. And you get these done at places that do facials, you know, beauty salons, beauty, whatever places. And they usually take a surgically sharp blade. Now, professional does this, and they will scrape the top layer of skin, which removes the hairs and removes dead skin. Now, this is great for your skin overall because it removes that dead skin, which you would normally do yourself for exfoliating. But you can get it done, you know, every couple of months to do when you do your facials, and definitely removes all that extra junk that would suck up all your makeup.
Yeah, see, I can't remove the hair on my face. I have a hormonal deficiency that causes the minute I remove hair, it goes crazy. So I instead use a heavier primer and I
Mm-hmm.
figure out what direction my hair goes, and then I make sure the primer goes to like basically seal it down. So if you're worried about removing the hair on your face because it could become coarser or you could have problems over time, you can just use a stronger primer. A lot of people they prime and go straight to makeup. No. If you want to make sure your hair is staying down, prime, wait about 5 minutes, then check and see if you can feel the hairs anymore. And if you can still feel some more, put a little bit more primer, wait another 5 minutes, and then you should be good to go.
Yeah, Anthony says, hello, ladies. Not cosplaying today. No, we both are very, very deep in life things. So, no cosplays today, but
I
thank you
have
for
to,
joining us.
yeah, rush somebody after this, so I need time. But
Yeah, so
I mean,
again,
I've got another thing I can play while we're talking more about makeup and stuff. So let me
yeah,
open that.
again, those options of removing hair on your face or removing dead skin is not for everybody. Please, if it's the first time you've done it, if you're first time you're doing it, go to a professional. I do dermaplaning myself, but I know how to do it and have done it, so do not do it yourself. Another thing that you can do also, like this is what I like to do when I'm wearing wigs because I have a very low hairline. Sometimes I'll go and get that part when I get dermaplane, either dermaplane it off or thread it so that it's a clean hairline. So when I wear wigs, like blonde wigs that are like lace fronts, they don't show. Again, those are completely optional. Do not feel like you need to do it. Something I like to do. It's just an idea. So here, Thermo is using is that Paint
It's the
Pros?
cosplay. It's the Cosplay Pros vegan makeup palette. It's water activated. The other was cream based. This is water activated. That was ELF primer. Is it inexpensive? It's like $10. It's what I started with, but now that I'm getting into makeup, that needs to have a bit more detail and I'm paying for more makeup, I started using the No Problem and the Professional and off and on the baby skin. But also some of the special effects stuff, which I'll get into later, you don't want a primer because you need to have completely clean, unmoisturized skin. Hi, kitty.
Hey, kitty. Hey,
Kitty.
kitty.
But for this one, I know I mentioned don't brush it like a brush, but for the first layer of water-based, it's okay because you very rarely is one layer enough with water-based. So this is just to create just a foundation for you, like a base layer, layer 0, before you start building layer 1 and 2 and 3 with more paint, powder, and other things. So it is okay for that initial to go ahead and just kind of paint it like this, and then later on I go in there and kind of do a bit more. I'm a little bit more careful. Plus, I noticed that the Cosplay Pros water based is a bit creamier than some of the other makeups, so having a little bit more of a paintbrush is okay. I just use a very, very soft brush so it doesn't leave streaking. So this one I accidentally got too much water, and I looked up at the camera because I was like, oh crap, I put too much water on my brush.
Is that
It
the
should never just bleed down.
Craft Pros?
Craft Pros.
Yeah, Craft Pros. Okay.
I said Cosplay Pros. Sorry, Craft Pros.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't
Cosplay
think
Pros they have stuff too in Happy Valley, and they're a provider for like foam and stuff. So they are also awesome if you need to make things. But Craft Pros, sorry. This is on Amazon. It's vegan, cruelty free. Doesn't have a lot of the heavy metals that many other makeups have, and so I haven't had any problem. And I've got very sensitive skin.
and I think it goes
But
on really well.
it
It's
goes
really
on well, but it comes off easy too. So
Mhm.
if you have high frictions, like if it's on your face and neck, and even if it's warm, you might be okay as long as you've got a fan to keep it dry or you've powdered it really well. But if you put it anywhere else, it's not going to last. You need to wear like tights or something. And so that's one good advice too. If you're body painting, wear tights or gloves or other things in high friction zones so that you don't have to keep reapplying your makeup or you don't have it transfer to clothing that you may not necessarily be able to remove it from.
So Anthony says, Jinx, since you cosplaying as Widowmaker, she's getting a mythic skin. If you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to put any more Widowmaker skins on my to-do list. I have so much going on right now. Cute cat, what's her name? Her name is Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Says, I face painted on some underground wrappers for Halloween. Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
Like, what did you paint? Like any kind of designs or like masks? What did those look like? I mean, I used to do face painting for kids when I did like kids parties and stuff. Great way to learn like techniques because face painting is nothing like you think it is. It's a lot of it is like you do like the base colors and then you go back and then you do like your lines and stuff. So it's interesting. The face is definitely something unique to paint on. Cool. Oh, you were doing the necktie. Oh, cool.
It's so hard. I didn't want to like make an outfit like this, so I emulated. I just ended up wearing a black shirt over everything and making it look like I was wearing. I will say this is one of those things where I was like, I should have got help. Like it was so difficult to do, and it's just the where I was at the time. The person that was home does not know how to do any of this, and I'm like, he would have struggled so hard, and I was like, never mind. I'm just gonna do this on my own.
I think you did quite a good job, though.
Yeah, it was not too bad. Like the first layer is you saw me like freaking out because I was like, oh God, why is this so difficult? Because you're also remember I'm looking at a reflection. I'm looking in a mirror. I have a lit mirror in front of me, and I'm looking at a reflection, and I'm like, wait, no, go the other way. Remember, reflected surface, go the other direction. So it was a few times my hand wanted to go the same way, and I'm like, no, go the other way, go the other way. So with practice, it gets better.
You said Boondocks or any Baby Killa, ABK, for example, that was on Insane Clown Posse's record label. Oh, is that what you painted? Was their faces on somebody else? Interesting. I haven't heard.
And then I used this is me using a makeup wipe and the end of a paintbrush to remove the top part, like create a nice even line to remove the crown.
Clever.
Yeah. And then I goofed up and I was like, oh, I got to remove the top anyways, because if I overpaint, I need to be able to paint the green on top. So they do have their metallic gold is like really vibrant. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I like their metallics for sure.
Their metallics, their copper, their gold, and their silver are really nice.
That's another thing that you should have handy is like makeup wipes because you can make corrections. You don't need to. Don't.
Did you see? I messed up.
Yeah, don't go over and over and over trying to like cover things, just remove it and redo it.
Yep.
Again, like small tools like these help. I use micellar water to remove makeup. Not micellar water is not great for every skin type. You might just use any kind of like liquid makeup remover, or I don't know, baby oil, or cold cream, or whatever works for your skin to remove. You can always go back and remove parts of it that you want to just cover up. So always have those handy too when you're when you're putting on makeup.
Oh, absolutely. Even Q-tips, makeup wipes, some little brushes, some little
Makeup
things that you can.
wands, yeah.
Yep, anything to make it easier. And then now I'm going in because I was super matte. Even though she's 2D, I wanted to make myself look a little bit more alive. And so I'm going in with like yellows and limes and some darker greens and purples. Actually, right here, I'm not using green. I'm using purple. Purple, when put on green, kind of creates like this shadow. It's color theory, guys. It will be your best friend when doing makeup. Color theory. Get one of those color wheels and see where the complementary colors are. And then remember, primaries are primaries. You cannot change them. You can maybe make them lighter or darker, but if you've mixed them already, they're there. So yeah, I'm going in with a little bit of gold and yellow to add the highlight, make it brighter.
So
the more you can light, the better.
What Thermo's got there is now a just a simple eyeshadow palette with a variety of colors. That one I know you got on Amazon, right? You can just get kind of anywhere. It's kind of almost crucial to have a eyeshadow palette. I would say a matte eyeshadow palette with a variety of colors if you're doing a lot of body painting, because you're going to use these to fill in areas close to your eye that you didn't want to get so close with paint. You're going to use them for different shadow colors or accent colors. Either lighter, you'll go either lighter or darker in the color that you're wearing. And they're just great to do other accents. Like Thermo said, she used purple to do shadows. You can use those right off the eyeshadow palette. Now, I highly recommend them to be matte eyeshadows, not shimmers or any other.
Yeah, I use hyperpigmented so that it shows up better too.
And you can also just get individual pots if you're just doing one color and you're like, I just want to do one color. You can get the individual pots. Like NYX sells these individual pots at a decent price, and there's lots of other brands that sell them too for even less. You don't need any kind of high-end eyeshadow for this part. Again, it's just mostly for accent, filling, etc., etc.
Yeah, and then the color palette that you saw there, I think it was $12, and then the vegan cruelty-free face paint water-based was, I think, 20 for the whole palette.
Yeah, I think it's 20. And it comes with brushes.
So long. It comes with a lot of brushes, colors. It even comes with stencils, all kinds of things. And mine's about to expire. I've had it so long. Like I haven't finished using all of it. I mean, it's getting low, but it's about to expire. It lasts a long time.
The nice thing about that palette as well is that they come in individual. Those things pop out individually, so you can always
replace them.
You can replace them. You can take them with you if you just want to bring it for touch up and you don't want to bring your whole palette. Also, you can leave them out to dry because you never want to put everything away as soon as you're done using your palette. Always let your water-based makeups dry completely. So you might just take that one pot out, let it dry, and store the rest of it away. So that's what's really nice about that palette specifically. And
then there we go. That was. I don't know why. It's just me.
That's a good picture there. That one. Nice job.
But that just shows you that. I mean, I did that on a stream. I think it took me an hour and a half, but I was also getting distracted talking to people. So focused, because it's only from the neck up, I probably could do it in an hour, no problems. Whereas I did body painting for Drax, and Drax I used water-based paint. When I did it at Fandom Media, I used the cream paint because I wanted to show people an inexpensive option. But when I did Drax, I'll open up Drax. But when I did Drax for Dragon Con, it was a lot more complicated. Just because where's my conventions? Where's Dragon Con? Where are you, Dragon Con? Oh, why is my phone going off?
Anthony said, I hope you make it to Katsucon this upcoming year to meet you in person. Katsucon's on a wish list. I just don't know when I'll make it out. The only out-of-state con I'm planning for next year as of now is WonderCon. I just have so much going on. I just, I can't put too much on my to-do list.
Yeah.
While Thermo's looking for those, I'm going to talk a little bit about brushes. You don't need expensive brushes, but there are a lot of misconceptions about brushes. For example, blush. Blush is commonly used for beauty makeup. If you do use blush on like an unnatural colored character, it's not always going to be pink. It could be a different color. But this is the type of brush you want to use for blush. The movies and TV make you think that you need some big fluffy brush, but that's wrong. You need a tightly compact, controlled brush. And then you're going to find certain areas on your skin where the blush actually is going to go. Not like in the movies where they're like, and they dust it all over. It's really going to be more controlled spot. Usually on the tops of your cheekbones, which are closer to your eyes. More like this area. I'm wearing glasses, I guess. More like this area than like this area. Although it depends, because the lower that you go, then the younger that your character will look. So if you do have like a younger character, or you're going for more that cartoony or doll style, then yeah, you're probably going to want to put them more closer onto your cheek. But typically they go actually higher up your cheekbone. So more compact and controlled brush is better for that.
Ooh. Oh, it freaked out. Hang on. Is it working now? Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. So this one I have here is a contour brush. This is better for when you're making contours for shadows. That kind of like, you can use different areas of it. You can use like the tips of it, or you can use the whole part to like contour on your actual jaw lines and stuff. So these are really great to make those shadows. And they're also very compact. Brushes, unlike popular opinion, actually are better when they're more compact, because that's how they're going to keep all the color and have better control. Now, like fluffier brushes, this one's kind of bent. Fluffier brushes are good for removing powders. For example, like when I talk about, I do like the baking, and what baking is, is when you take, when you pack powder onto areas of your skin that tend to be more oily or need more, condensed powder, and you leave it on that area of skin so that it can meld with your body heat. I usually put it here under my eyes. It's the most popular place to put it. Brushes like these are going to be better to, whoops, I'm throwing it around. Brushes like these are better to like brush powders away. So, and then because they're usually used with neutral colors, you can use them any other time you get, say you get eyeshadows. It's very common to get a lot of eyeshadow dust outside here on your eye. You can just use a fluffy brush to just brush it away, and you're not dragging that color everywhere. So,
no.
Yeah. Did we find your pictures? You took your pictures back down.
I showed them.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah. So another thing too, if you're not going to body paint and you're not planning on doing any crazy things when it comes to like changing their skin tone or going into an alien or zombie, I guess zombie kind of counts here. But if you want more prosthetics, if you're looking more for like, I want to look gross, you'll want to look more at like, first of all, make sure that you're not allergic to latex. Test it on the underside of your arm. Test it right under here and under your neck, because these two skin surfaces are the ones that most of your body's made of, because your body has different textures, but these textures are the most consistent. And you'll test there. If you have no reaction, then you're probably okay to use latex prosthetics. Also test the adhesives, but if you're not bothered by latex, chances are spirit gum won't bother you either. But the one thing I wanted to share, I did a stream of when I was doing my, where is this? Here we go. Let me know if you can see this. So I did a stream of my Zabrak, and the one thing you want to remember when applying horns is, or anything prosthetic, it's not gonna let me zoom forward on this one, I can do it here though, is it needs to be like contact cement. So put it on the prosthetic, then put it on your skin. So I put it on the prosthetic, I make a little stamp mark, right? And that's how I know how big it is. And then I glue it on. So it's like contact cement. This needs to be Pro-Shade, spirit gum, pretty much anything, even like eyelash glue works better if you treat it like this, but
It does, yeah.
Eyelash glue is a little bit different, so it will hold, but it holds better if you treat it like contact cement. So always remember that if you're applying an adhesive, treat it like contact cement. If you want something that's going to be pretty gross, there is this product called rigid collodion. This is what it does. It creates deep scarring, and then I combine it with a silicone modeling compound that's a two-part epoxy that you could apply directly to your face and sculpt to create really gruesome effects. And that's how I did my ghoul for Fallout. From far away, I did not realize that my nose did not look like it was there. So let me see if I have someone was shared the. I think you shared the photo with me, but it made me laugh 'cause I did not realize my. It looks like I have no nose.
I mean, that's the
I
point, though.
Yes, but I mean, at most all day long, I spent like within 5 feet of people. But the minute they got just outside that 5 foot range, when I was in the panel room, I couldn't understand why this one person was freaking out so hardcore about the fact that he's like, "How did you get your nose to look like that?" I'm like, "Oh, I just painted it black, and you can't see it." And he's like, "No, what do you mean?" And I realized because of the distance, no matter what angle I was at, it just looked like a large nose hole,
Mhm.
and that's the crazy things that can happen, right? So you can do this is all this is it's just red, brown, black body paint. I used alcohol activated palette, but you could just use eyeshadow or you can use water-based paint or cream paints with that silicone compound and the rigid collodion. And I essentially highlighted all the raised zones and then made shadows in all the deep set zones, and it looks like your skin's peeling away.
I think that's what's important is when people are painting on their skin, they're painting, scars or stitches or whatever, is to make it have that shadow and highlight really, really, really takes it to the next level, really takes it to that 3D level, even though it's completely flat. So even though you're going to draw like a red scar, you're going to want a darker red underneath it. And then you're probably going to want a little bit of white on top of where light would shine. Those are quick and easy tricks to make it look more realistic than just, oh, I drew a line. I drew some red lines on my face. Yeah, so even though like Thermo has like the actual like 3D, the 3D scarring and the 3D like ridges to help, the fact that she adds all those like shadows makes it look even more, even more scarred and even deeper.
Yeah, and
So.
I think I might even have an old tutorial somewhere. I'm gonna see if I can find it of where if I can't, you can even just use makeup to make it seem like you have a scar, and even if you don't have one. So there are ways to emulate scarring without having any sort of prosthetic at all.
Ooh, here, you know what? I can't share it, but maybe you can because I'm on my phone. But my Freddy Krueger makeup, I actually
Okay,
learned how
yeah,
to do it from
I will
a
do that.
tutorial online, and it really was just like 3 different colors of eyeshadow. That's all it was to make those like pock marks that he has because he looks like his skin's been kind of burned off. And I still wanted it, so I had like more of like a beauty style because that's just what I do. I always have to be pretty. I don't like
Why
being
is it not have? Why is your Freddy Krueger not letting me click on it? I might have to go to Facebook
naughty.
then.
Yeah,
Rude.
it's probably so yeah, unfortunately I'm on my phone so I can't really share, but
It's okay.
I
I'll get it.
did yeah, I did like 2 or 3 different colors of eyeshadow and really just did like the different layers to make it look like parts were sunken in and there was like a shadow and then a little bit of highlight. And so from images it looked really cool, and that's the effect I wanted to go for. I didn't want more of the gruesome style. However, if I wanted to go more gruesome, I'd probably have a lot more different techniques, maybe some like pencil, makeup pencil to make a little bit more detailed ridges, probably a few more colors, and it probably would have taken me several more hours to make it more realistic.
I know you posted it here. I just got to find it. I'm into last year,
Yeah, I
so
have. I need to repost it because it's spooky season. I've just
here
been
it
so
is.
there
Here
it
we
is.
go.
I've just been
Yeah.
so inactive on yeah. So as you can see, like I did just the different colors of all it was eyeshadow and blush, I think, and just took a couple different brushes, and I would just go and okay, so here's the base, 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 and I would go with another brush with a different color and like okay, I'm gonna color that in, color that in, color that in, and that's all it was. It was really easy. Oh, there's my doll. We can.
There we go. This one
Oh
too.
yeah,
Here
that's
you
a
go.
better one. Yeah. So obviously it's more like fashiony, more high glam version of Freddy Krueger, but I got the look across. So yeah, and I think up there was like
Creepy.
a little creepy
The
doll
Oh
where I
yeah.
just used just that. All that was just liquid eyeliner. Um, and when you do like a creepy doll kind of cracked look, it's easier because you don't need so much accent because it just needs to look like
Mm-mm.
literally a crack. And that was pretty good. I liked that one. Someone did that for me, but I learned to do it on my own as well. So
Yeah,
I don't do
it's
much in terms of SFX makeup. It's more
like, oh look, there you go.
So
When you
that's
jumped on my back, you're like, what if I jump on your back? And I was like, I don't know. And then she did it anyways. I wasn't really ready, but it worked.
so that we actually only painted our faces. Everything else was like
Hmm. Well, my neck
stocking.
too, because my yeah, you're wearing tights, but that just goes to show you you're wearing tights, and the tights to match the skin works really well. I painted just my neck and I didn't have to paint anything else. So tights are really, really, really useful. Um, don't be afraid to, I thought we had something. Yeah, here we go. So like she used tights for this too because it's hard to get full body paint to stay on when you're having to be very active.
Mhm. So you can
So
see on the left on the Cartoon Network Teens Titans, I'm wearing the stockings, but actually my midriff and my arms are painted. They are touched up in in post on the photos, but I did pretty much do all of that in the face. But as long as there's some distance between your stockings and where you're painted, they don't have to be the exact color. Oh, this is a great one. This is how a tutorial I showed on how to make your stocking gloves look more realistic, because oftentimes people will just do the gloves and that's it, but if you do a simple thing like add nails to them from a distance, they look realistic, super realistic. So that's just a little quick tutorial on how I made my gloves. Yeah, and those are all the tools you
and you
need.
wear stuff underneath so that it doesn't actually stick to you because it will soak through the nylon. So
Yeah, because you have to glue the nails on, so it just helps to
mhm.
put something in between your actual nail and the glue, so you're not gluing it all together. So, a lot of fun ways to, do some Halloween makeup. Right now, everyone in the US is pretty lucky because Spirit Halloween stores are everywhere. And while those materials aren't necessarily on the higher end, there's ways that you can do to make them look more high end. We need to share our stream of the zombie makeup that you did because we used Spirit prosthetics for that.
Oh, let me see if I
So I think
can
it was like
find
two
it. Let me
Halloweens
go.
ago.
Yeah, let me go back to it. I'll do that real fast. Let me hunt for that. Hang on.
Yeah, so if you don't know what Spirit Halloween is, you're outside the US. It is a seasonal store that pops up, and now it's popping up even earlier and earlier. And they have a lot of great Halloween stuff. They do have a ton of prosthetics. Again, they are on the cheaper side, but there's secrets on how to make them look more realistic. For example, Thermo like to use the, gosh, what was it? The liquid latex that you can add in. You can use ripped up tissue paper or
Oh,
cotton.
just Prosaid with
A
like an
Prosade.
adhesive with tissue paper. Yeah.
Yep. So we can get these like typical. What are they? Are they latex? I think these latex like appliances that look
Oh
like a
yeah.
giant
Hmm.
scar, right? And then Thermo had cut it, and then we kind of put. She kind of added in like mixed Prosade with some ripped toilet paper that looked like ripped, skin tissue. And you just kind of added in there, and then we added in like some of the fake blood, and it looked great. There's a lot of ways you can make these cheap appliances look more realistic. It just takes a little more time, a little more creativity. So if you don't have time to make your own appliances, which Thermo has in some other tutorials that we've shown before, go pick up these cheapy ones. Go order a bottle of Prosade, which you're going to use plenty in the future anyway. And you can go from there. Sometimes you can even use eyelash glue and mix it with a little bit of ripped up toilet paper. Tissue paper actually is better, like Kleenex is softer. And then, color a little bit with makeup sometimes if you need to. Put a little bit of fake blood in there and voila. And so we did our whole live
I
stream.
found it.
Yeah, we did a whole live stream where she painted this whole thing on my face. And then we went
So
out to eat
that's the
sushi
prosthetic
after.
on the table. The little.
Yeah, that was a fun one actually. And then we went to eat sushi afterwards, and I completely forgot. And thank goodness it was like the day before Halloween. We didn't look too unusual, too out of place. So yeah, I'll reshare this to our Facebook page so you guys can take a look. I'll see what other things we've done and reshare them in time for Halloween. But yeah, just take these tips. And I think, what was the other one? Scar wax. Scar wax was the other thing
Yeah,
that you had in
scar
there too.
wax and wax compound can be used to blend in the prosthetic because they do have much bigger edges. They're made for they're mass produced, so they've got large edges, which will make things a little bit more difficult. But as you can see, it's starting to blend in more because I was using some tissue paper, I was using scar wax, and I was using a little bit of adhesive to make sure it would lay. And I had her talking because we wanted to make sure when she talked and moved, we could figure out anywhere where it was lifting and we could repair it. And that worked really, really well. And that's the scar wax. So that there's the scar wax on the right and the modeling, the wax compound, and they go back a little bit. So the scar wax is the little tiny one on the right, and it has a mesh built into it with wax. And then the other one is going to be a wax compound that you can blend. It's a modeling wax.
And my Starbucks.
And then those are the little scars that you're showing. And Starbucks. Coffee is important. I think I had you over at my house really early so we could do this.
I was like, I don't wake up early. Jinx is on
So
my
yeah, scar wax and the modeling compound. But we ended up going in here. We got her face all built out. And this is stuff we purchased from Spirit Halloween so that you could see that, yes, this stuff works. It's absolutely useful. You can do this. And we start building up and making it look more infected and disgusting. The worse you make it look, the better, to be honest. And then once we got it applied, we started going in with her makeup and just kind of we did concealer because we wanted it to look paler because when things are infected, they tend to have like a pale kind of gross, really gross look. And then she started doing her beauty makeup, but yeah, she had to let it air out because you get very hot as your body gets used to having all the layers on. It looked so cool though.
Yeah, it looked really good. The only thing was that, like, I think that piece initially was too big for my face, right? Because that's why.
Yeah, we could have trimmed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it creeped too far into my mouth. So just like make sure that before you put these appliances on, you always measure them, trim away anything that you need to. I think if we had just trimmed it a little bit, it would have probably worked really well. But we were just doing it for the stream, and then I took it off shortly after that. So.
It was so gross though, in like the best way possible. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Started doing and then we started watching her do her like just normal beauty makeup on top of it.
Yeah, and remember that's all stuff from Spirit, and Spirit's really affordable, so you're not gonna have, you're not gonna have to spend too much to get some cool effects going. Yeah.
Look at how pretty you look. You're such a pretty gross zombie. Oh yeah, and we were adding some more because her mouth was having issues, so she asked to like increase the stability there. And
then I was doing some photos for the eyeglasses that I had gotten for it, and then we went to go eat sushi.
And then we had some stuff hanging off of her because she's like, I want to be like I freshly ate brains. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it look like you freshly ate brains. And she's not allergic to the liquid blood. I can't wear it. It makes me very sick. I don't know why. So again, test anything that you're gonna put on your body and make sure it works. Absolutely. And then we can actually pull the pictures up and show you guys what this ended up looking like. So let me get that pulled up on Instagram.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions about anything, throw them in the chat. People always ask like what I'm doing for Halloween because I'm a cosplayer, and honestly, it's like
it's our holiday. It's our holiday. We just go to sleep. We go to sleep.
Nothing. So my office, actually, so I started a new job, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so busy now. But my office, I haven't done office life in years, and they're like, okay, so we're joining the Halloween contest, and this is what we're doing. And I was like, oh my God. So yes, I will have a Halloween costume that I will be wearing on Halloween. I don't know why I'm putting in quotations. And I haven't had Halloween costume in years. I can't remember the last time I did anything significant for Halloween other than just passed out candy. So I will have a Halloween costume. It is from Despicable Me, which I have never seen. But
I love Despicable Me.
Aww. Yeah, I'm doing Baltazar.
I want to be Gru so bad. I want to be Gru.
Yeah, all my team members are already picked because I joined quite late, and so I'm like, yeah, okay. So I picked Baltazar Brat. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does. I think he's in from the third movie, but I looked at his outfit. So. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I'll figure it out. So once I get that all together, I'll share pictures, and that's my Halloween costume 2024. And then after that, it's just like work, work. That's it. Oh, I did finally decide on some costumes for Uwu though, so I am happy about that. Yay!
Okay. And I think I've almost found the picture of you looking like it was actually 2 years ago, like 2.5
Yeah.
years ago that we did this, which is crazy because it does not feel like it was that long ago, but it was. So let me get that open. It's right here, and here we go.
Oh, and then I had the contact lenses too, so I got those from Unique. So,
Oh, that was the stream. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, that was really cool. I liked that.
It's so gross. In
I
the
need to
best
reach
way
when you
possible. It's
reminded
so
me.
gross.
Yay! So
But
gross.
yeah. Yay for gross.
Yay
So
for gross Halloween! Yay.
if you guys have questions, please message us, ask. We'd be happy to give you guys some information on makeup. Also, Jinx, as a reminder, we got to reconnect to the Cause Talk Live Facebook, and it's not letting me do it. So after this, we'll
I
have to
saw.
probably do that.
I'll do it.
But we are going to have another stream next Saturday. It's going to be our crafting stream. I'm going to be making Marcel. I was planning on making Marcel this weekend, then I had a lot of stuff happen. But I'm going to be making Marcel from Delicious in Dungeon. I have all my fabric right here. Yay. And then, so that'll be the focus on that stream. Everyone, whoever's available, will be joining. And then on the 25th, the day before, all of the Halloween stuff happens in Phoenix, it seems. We're going to be doing our monthly game stream, and we're going to be playing Lethal Company.
Hey, I don't
First
know
time playing it. I've watched people play Lethal Company. I haven't played it. Amber Bright wants to join us for that stream, and Amber Bright's like, let's play Lethal Company. And I'm like, I've actually seen this. It's hilarious. You're just a group of people. You land on a planet. You go to collect resources, but those planets have monsters.
What platform is it on?
I think it's PC.
Okay.
I think it's on stream. Steam stream.
Got it.
On stream. Let's see here. Lethal
and then if
Company.
You guys didn't know, of course, like we are.
Yeah, it's $10 on Steam, by the way.
Cool.
$10.
We are working very, very hard on getting Uwu things. We're pretty much all put together.
If you want to volunteer, it's more of a barter position. You'll work 4.5 hours. It's 5 total. You get a half-hour break for lunch in between, or dinner, depending on your shift. And we still have 2 spots open. The rest of them are all full.
Yeah, you get to do some cool stuff like help with the contest or help with sign-ins. You're going to get to hang out with Cause Talk Live crew, and then, in exchange, you'll get a pass for the event. So
full event. Yeah.
Not a bad gig, I think. So, and if you wanted to chill out, you don't have to wear a costume while you work for us. You can do whatever you like. Of course, we welcome if you wear a costume as long as it doesn't get in the way of whatever duties we have assigned to you. Again, we have 2 spots left. You can go to uwucon.com, right? Is the sign up sheet there?
Yeah, you just go to uwucon.com and you'll check out the Get Involved tab, and it will have they also are looking for volunteers for the main event, and they have different roles in the Cosplay Village, because the Cosplay Village, we are asking for you to do more, so we're giving you a full event for the 5-hour shift, because we're asking you to do helping with information booth for cosplay and panels, so it's a bit more work.
And it's the last day to sign up for the cosplay contest.
Oh yeah, so cosplay contest, I forgot. Yeah, so the cosplay contest, skit is the last day to sign up. If there's so if there happen to be craftsman spots available, we will let you sign up on Friday at the Cause Talk Live booth. We already talked to Uwu leadership and they said that's okay. So we'll let you sign up at the Cause Talk Live booth on Friday only. But if you sign up on site, we're choosing your audio. You have no choice. Now we will try to be nice. We will try to line it up with your character, but because we have to edit the audio the night before, you don't get to choose your own audio.
But also, if you don't make your own costumes, that's why the skit performance is perfect.
I didn't know he was in the room. He came out of the closet all like,
Hi, Mr.
Where were you?
He's like Big Brother. So yeah, so there's still some time to sign up if you want to just go on stage, be your favorite character, do a dance, do a couple lines, do a little skit.
Yeah, Uwu's only accepting 10 skit performers and 20 craftsmen. So there's not.
Yeah.
And we are going to have. I spoke to the leadership. We're going to have cash prizes. Yay. And there's potentially another pretty big prize. We're trying to get everything lined up, but there will be cash prizes. And oh my gosh. The owner sent me the trophy picture. There's custom trophies being made this year. so freaking cute.
That's cool. Yay! Hopefully
Yeah.
we can get a sneak peek picture out soon. But guys, if you don't have your tickets to Uwu, make sure you grab them. It's going to be a lot of fun. The weather is perfect.
It's actually projected to be really nice that weekend.
Yeah, and we have a lot of cool new things that are going on this year. So be sure to check
It's
it
at
out.
the North Hall of Westworld Scottsdale, and they've added like a semi. I saw pictures. They added a semi-permanent structure to the outside too. Everything's air conditioned, so all the quote unquote tents are semi-permanent structures that actually have like metal attached to the buildings, and they feed into the AC for that building. So everything will have AC.
Yay! So guys, check it out. If you have any questions, you can always drop us a line at Cost Talk Live. We will be back on Saturday, right? Saturday the 19th.
For the craft stream, I think it's at 2. I think I put it at 2. Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely do my best to join. I think I should be able to. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Safe cosplaying, happy cosplaying.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, or we'll do selfies.
It's a video, so we can just take as many clips as. Oh, look, there's an aqua and there's a sky. Yay!